Well, good evening. It's 6:30 p.m. Welcome to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. We're live from our studios here at the Platinum Place, also live on X and on YouTube at GHOne TV. Let's now look at our headlines. Mixed reactions by consumers as Ministry of Communications and MultiChoice Ghana settle on a 33 to 50% higher value at a lower cost.
On the DSTV package or bouquet you use, subscribers will get between 33% to 50% more value.
Well, tonight we get into the details of that. Also, over 60 state and private institutions, including Police Service, SHRAJ, Parliament, Attorney General's Department, and SNIT, fined a total of 5.6 million cedis for right to information violations. And later on, NPP National Executives direct persons calling for sanctions against the Shanti and Bono Regional Chairman to submit a petition.
This is a matter that has been expressed in their own opinion as to what they wanted the party to do. And that is not how party management is done. So we are on course and we are dealing with those particular matters.
We'll also be hearing from Kennedy Japan's campaign team, which insists failure to act swiftly and decisively will only reinforce widespread perceptions of bias in the upcoming presidential primaries. And later on the foreign front, Hamas denies receiving new Gaza ceasefire proposal ahead of Trump-Netanyahu meeting. Well, we've got details of these stories and more, so kindly stay with us. Well, grateful for your company this evening. I'm Kodjo Mensah. The details now. The Ghana Police Service, Parliament, Judiciary, Attorney General's Department, and SHRAJ have been fined for violating rights to information requests. Now, an investigation conducted by Corruption Watch Ghana from February to July 2025 uncovered that Ghana Police Service had paid a whopping 450,357 cedis, while the SHRAJ is yet to pay. Meanwhile, the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, was slapped with the largest single penalty under Ghana's Right to Information law, paying more than 1.6 million cedis for failing to release information requested by citizens. The new Corruption Watch investigation reveals that over 60 state and private institutions have been fined a combined 5.6 million Ghana cedis, but ADB's fine alone exceeds the combined penalties of many key state institutions. Now, here are the topmost defaulting institutions. Let's bring that to you so that you get to know exactly which companies are defaulting the most. And so, top on the list, like you can see there, is the Agricultural Development Bank, which owes or was slapped with 1.365 million Ghana cedis. Then is the Ghana Police Service, a little over 450,000 Ghana cedis. The Education Ministry, 260,000 cedis. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, 200,000 cedis fine. Lands Commission, 150,000 Ghana cedis. These are the top four. Now, let's look at the NHI, also 144,000. GES, a little over 133,000 Ghana cedis. The Ladadekotopon Municipal Assembly, LADMA, slapped with 126,000 cedis. Judicial Service, 100,000. And Prudential, also 100,000. 100,000 Ghana cedis. These are penalties that have been paid by these institutions to the RTI Commission because they failed to provide information as requested under the RTI law. Now, while ADB has fully paid its record sanction of over 1 million Ghana cedis, the report warns that most of these fines, including ADB's, were likely settled with taxpayer funds, undermining the RTI law's aim of promoting transparency. Now, Corruption Watch says it is troubling that institutions expected to champion openness are among the worst offenders. Zakaria Tanko Musa. Counsel, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Joshua, for having me.
Fantastic. So first of all, as a private legal practitioner, it should come to you as very worrying that we've had these state institutions, for the lack of a better word, these state institutions are supposed to know better, rather fallen foul of the law. How does that come to you?
Very disappointed, and I find it very embarrassing. I find it very embarrassing because if you look at the state institutions that we are talking about, we're talking about SHRAJ, we are talking about Attorney General's Department, we are talking about Auditor General's Department, we're talking about the Police Service, Parliamentary Service, Judicial Service. These are not any ordinary institutions. These are institutions that are at the heart of our constitutional or democratic architecture. And they know the important role the right to access information plays in a democratic institution or in a democratic country. In other words, the whole idea behind the constitutional framework that says access to information is a fundamental right is because it enhances transparency, it leads to accountability. And public institutions and anybody who finds him or herself operating within a public institution is being entrusted with public responsibility of public funds. So if state institutions as important as these institutions that we have just mentioned are flagrantly or willfully refusing to release information that they are supposed to release, and as a result of that, such huge amounts of money are being paid as penalty using the state resources, then that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable because in our recent history, the right to information law is one of those laws that when it was passed, right, its implementation was deferred for 1 year to allow for necessary capacity building, for the necessary alignments to take place. 1 whole year was given as a window for institutions to prepare, and a lot of training capacity building was done. I, myself, the late Akoto Ampao, Samson Lade Ayenini, we had done extensive training across the country. And to find these same institutions refusing to release information that is not exempt, or some of them don't even bother at all to respond to a citizen's request, right, that is not a situation that we should be all happy about.
But Counsel, is it not also the case that because perhaps they need to pay with state resources, it's not punitive enough? Should we have to do something different when it comes to the fines that are being paid?
Exactly my point. So one of the things I have argued quite strongly is that, well, if the people are not paying with their money, the money is being paid by the state, then where is the deterrent? There is no deterrent at all. So I request for information. You know the information is not exempt. You know you have to release that information, but you're not bothered. You don't even do anything because you know that what is the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, I take you to RTI Commission. RTI Commission says pay 50,000, and then your institution 50,000 cedis. Where is the deterrent? So my argument is that let's attach the earnings of the individual, whether it's the right to information officer or the head of the institution, who willfully refuse to release information that is not exempt. Attach his or her earnings, let him hit him where it matters most, And that would be serving as a deterrent. But if we don't do that, and we are just taking the state resources, hard-earned taxpayers' money, to really pay back, if you like, a state institution, and they are building up their IGF, yes, but you are using your IGF or money that has been allocated to you to pay. That is not a sustainable way to go.
Right. Finally, Council, before we draw the curtains on the conversation, when you look at the statistics as per the content of the statement produced by Corruption Watch, we see an increase over the years in the number of requests that are placed under the RTI law. For instance, and if you can just have that on the screens, in 2021, we only had 247 requests received. And then in the subsequent year, 2022, we had 783 requests. But then in 2023, we're looking at a jump of 1,749. And the approval rate as well, we had only 159 in 2021, but in 2022, it was 669. And then in the same 2023, when we saw a lot of requests, we saw the approval increase to 1,225. So basically, this paints a picture that we are taking advantage of the RTI law. Commendable?
Well, it is commendable, and kudos to all the advocates and the civil society organizations, and of course, the RTI Commission and the Access to Information unit at the Ministry of Information. They all be doing a lot of capacity building, not only for the suppliers, but for those who will be requesting for the information. So the awareness is there. Right. And this is the interesting aspect. So the literature suggests that when it comes to RTI, journalists are not quick to use the RTI because of the headlines and all those. Journalists, we are very, we want information quickly. So they don't want to use the RTI. So it's usually the citizens who do that. But in our part of the world, interestingly, the journalists are the ones who are using the RTI more, either to test the system or to request the information. And that is why organizations or institutions are willfully refusing to release the information, because it is journalists who are requesting for the information. And the RTI law says you don't have to give reason why you are requesting for the information. They are in a fix. They don't know why are they asking for that information.
Right.
But if you don't have anything to hide, if you don't have anything to really conceal, you have no problem releasing information that is not exempt. You know, so we need to encourage more people to use the RTI, because that is the only way we can keep institutions in check, because that would promote transparency, that would promote accountability, and that's one of the surest ways of trying to mitigate the insidious job.
Very well. Council, thank you so much. Tanko Zakaria Musa there. He is a private legal practitioner speaking to us on the issues surrounding the RTI. Well, you're still watching News Tonight here on GH1 Television with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Let's take a breather. We're back with more. Well, thank you so much for staying with us here on News Tonight. Let's do some more stories this evening. And a new poll by Global Info Analytics has projected former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to lead the New Patriotic Party in their upcoming flag bearer race. Now, according to the report, 57% of Ghanaians prefer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to lead the opposition New Patriotic Party into the next general election. The polls position Dr. Bawumia at 57.4%, with former Asen Central MP Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong following at 29.3%. Former Education Minister Yaosei Duchum and former Greek Minister Dr. Brian Achampong scored 6% and 4.6% respectively. Former General Secretary of the party Kwabena Agyapong came at the bottom of the polls with 3.3%. The survey shows strong preference for Dr. Bawumia among Ghanaians, while declining in support among delegates. Polls for the delegates revealed 47% score for Dr. Bawumia, with Kennedy Agyapong following at 17%. Dr. Brian Achampong surpasses Dr. Yaosei Duchum with 3%, while Dr. Duchum and Kwabena Agyapong had 1% apiece. Now, 4% of delegates remained undisclosed, with 27% undecided. Well, let's hear from pollster Musa Dankwa giving us a breakdown of the work done by Global Info Analytics on this particular one.
There are two types of people we polled here.
Okay.
We polled Ghanaians, and we asked voters or delegates to tell us whether they have favorable opinion or unfavorable opinion of candidate A, B, C, E. So Bawumia, when it comes to him, 94% of them said they have favorable opinion about him.
Okay.
2% have unfavorable. So the net is 92% plus. When it comes to Brian Achampong, favorable 82, unfavorable 5, net is 77%. Yaosei Duchum, favorable 79, unfavorable 6%, net 73%. Kennedy Agyapong, favorable 84, unfavorable 4%, net 80%. Kwabena Agyapong, favorable 79, unfavorable 5%, net 74. If you rank these net ratings, you'll see that it matches the way the people are voting for them in the primaries.
Okay.
This is a scientific way of proving that the figures are correct.
Former Anyaso Utom MP and spokesperson for Dr. Brian Achampong's campaign in the NPP flag bearer race, Dr. Dixon Adomakonkese, has dismissed the Global Info Analytics poll, placing Dr. Bawumia as the NPP's flag bearer for 2028, saying it's early days yet. Now, he maintains the poll is unscientific and questionable.
For me, being a political person, being a numbers person, and mind you, my background is in economics before medicine, so I've done a lot of statistics, and I can tell you that this is a very questionable poll in terms of its timing. I'll keep saying it here. The very instructive one will be when, especially the new entrants, have had a chance of engaging the voters. And this will be likely around November, December. And that is where I think that there'll be clarity whether or not. And let me also be categorical here that the 57 is very questionable because, as I said here on this set, that Dr. Duchum, Dr. Brian Achampong, and even Kwabena Agyapong, who was with DMB, have left and are now in the contest. And each of those, supposing they didn't even have following, mind you, the Eastern region bloc is heavy. And just going by that alone, should Brian pull, by just joining the race, pull 10% from DMB, I mean, you'll not be at 57. So I take this with a grain of salt, and I will be very clear to Musa Dankwa when I see him.
Well, let's engage political marketing analyst Dr. Bernard Tutu-Buahin on this development. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. And so, yes, this poll by Global Info Analytics puts Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of the other contenders, a whopping 57.4% lead. What do you make of the findings?
All right. Good evening, and good evening to your listeners. I think that yes, Info Analytics is one pollster who, in recent times, have come up with some credible, reliable, near 100% results accuracies. And then I think that we cannot dispute about the kind of data he puts there. Actually, when you go deep into some of the calculations and, trying to make some analytical sense out of it, yes, you would probably raise questions, regarding what, the earlier speaker, that Brian Achampong guy, was speaking on. But I think that, you cannot say that what Info Analytics has brought out is something that you would probably want to reject. I feel strongly that probably issues regarding the 57% and all that, need to have been, established as to whether these are delegates of the MPP or these are national voters. And if they are national voters, whether they are MPP national voters, MPP sympathizers, MPP card-bearing members, or what kind of category of voters he was actually measuring their perception. Again, I want to say that what Info has brought out is just an opinion pool, and just to indicate the intention,
right,
or probably the expectations of voters going forward. So
absolutely.
But I think, yeah.
Because quite interestingly, when you look at that report, it also touches on the NDC and the fact that it says that Haruna Idrisu seems to be a preferred choice ahead of Sedu Nketia, Julius Debra, and the rest.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, that it is a kind of an opinion pool. All right.
Right.
So issues of timing, I don't think that issues of timing is of much relevance now.
Okay.
I think that what probably the questions we need to ask him is which category of voters is the sample.
Right. Right.
So that then probably we will know that these are the perceptions or the intentions of this particular group of people.
Right.
So that is it.
Okay.
In terms of the comparison, comparing, the flag bearer of the MPP or the flag bearers of the MPP
to the NDC.
The potential flag bearers of the MPP to the that of the NDC.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one probably is too early.
Okay.
Because the NDC has actually not come out with definite, candidates.
Absolutely.
And so if you probably is going to pair someone with another or compare one candidate to another, I think that one probably will not really fulfill, in quotes, righteousness.
Okay. Well, Doc, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. That's Dr. Bernard Tutu-Buahin. He's a political marketing analyst there. But while we're talking about the MPP, what we do know now is that there is some fire on the mountain as pressure is mounting on the National Executive Committee to immediately sanction the Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Chimbuesiako, also known as Chairman Wontumi, and the Bono Regional Chairman of the party, Kwame Bafo-Abronye, over alleged anti-party conduct. Now, it follows the circulation of an audio in which Chairman Wontumi is alleged alleged to have said that the party's electoral roll and processes were being manipulated to favor a particular candidate ahead of the January 2026 presidential primaries. An allegation, of course, Chairman Wontumi has denied. However, campaign team of Kennedy GHOne and Brian Champon have called for the officials to be sanctioned, describing the alleged audio as gross misconduct and a violation of the party's Article 4.7. Now, in response, the party says presidential camps calling for sanctions against the Ashanti and Bona Regional Chairman must follow due process. Here's Deputy General Secretary of the party, Haruna Mohammed, speaking to my colleague Lily Mohammed earlier on GH.
Assuming we were to apply stricter sanctions to all of them, I believe that one of them wouldn't have been even members of the party. They have made more dangerous commentaries among all the other contestants. So the party has a procedure of dealing with all these matters. As part of dealing with them, caution is part of sanctioning because you start from somewhere to another place. This is a matter that has been expressed in their own opinion as to what they wanted the party to do. And that is not how party management is done. So we are on course and we are dealing with those particular matters. So I don't think that there is a need for a call for somebody to be punished. If in the party you think that you want somebody to be punished and then there is a rule that you think that has been broken, what you ought to do is to have sent a petition quoting the infractions as contained in the party's constitution.
Well, let's move on to Zoom and speak to spokesperson for Kennedy GHOne's campaign team, Kwesi Kwarteng. He's joined me to have a conversation on this one. Kwesi, thank you so much for your time. So you heard your party's Deputy General Secretary. He says that if you are concerned, you know the routes to use in terms of getting your grievances basically dealt with. And he also touches on the fact that if the laws are to be strictly followed, your camp should be sanctioned a lot more.
I did not hear that, but is that really what he said?
Oh, yes.
That if the laws are to strictly follow, our camp is to be sanctioned, or is that what he said?
He says you would have received a lot of sanctions then.
I feel this is not the hallmark of great leadership. Leadership embrace all sides and take responsibility. I'm not sure that is the best way to address concerns that are being raised. You have two regional chairmen of a party, members of the National Executive Committee, who also doubles as members of the National Council, alluding to manipulations and tilting or skewing the electoral college to favor a candidate, a perception which has already been widely held by many party faithfuls, of course, owing to certain conducts in the past. Recall how they turned the annual conference in Legon to almost a mini rally for just one candidate. I mean, these were perceptions and issues that were raised up. Recall when during the filing of the nomination, where the party's official handles was used to project one candidate, of course, an explanation which sounded like an excuse came and made appeared as though it was a mistake. I'm still wondering why they didn't repeat the mistakes of Kwabena Agyapong or any of the other candidates, but it was only one person. And so when people raise legitimate concerns, I'm not sure the reaction should be what we are hearing. I mean, as we reportedly says that he said that, I'm not sure that should be the reaction. In any event, if they do not find any infraction with what Wontumi and Chairman Abronya has done, why did they distance themselves from from what they've done with the letter that they brought into the public domain? Our position is not even a position which is more or less blaming anybody. What we are saying is that if you look at what they've done, it is important for the party to publicly condemn what they've done, and of course also institute disciplinary processes against them. You cannot say that something is wrong, and all because some people have not raised or issued petition, then maybe some way, somehow, you cannot act on it. If we are to go by that logic, maybe the party should even stop doing press conferences and write everything to the president. I'm not sure it's a better response.
Because the party says that you know the route to take, and that is to present a formal petition for these matters to be looked into, and you are aware of these processes as well.
I perfectly agree with that submission, I heard that from General Secretary Kodjo, that yes, there are ways to do that. But to suggest that if we are to sanction, then the Japanese camp should have been the first to sanction.
It says you have enjoyed some mercy, so allow the others to also enjoy that mercy.
Well, so I mean, is that how leadership is run? You see, the point is that the facts are there. So why are we drawing new things into it? The fact is that 2 party senior members has misconducted themselves. So where lies this whole point about equalization and ABC? Are they also going to expect petition from who? I'm not sure that is how they should go about things,
right? Especially
with that remarks.
Okay.
Our point is that they should be deemed and seen to be condemning the act, so that it reposes the confidence and trust that people have in the party,
right?
Especially when it comes to the repairing the image of the
party.
So,
Kwesi, once you remain resolute in your conviction on what needs to be done, are we to expect that petition from you to formally get the party to act?
It doesn't have to take me to issue a petition. We made a call. And of course, the issue was being discussed in the public. The issue was not an exchange of private petitions. It was discussed within the public. Wontumi did not send a petition when he made those comments. Neither did Abronya also do so. Even the party also responded to the public space. We are concerned party members. What barred us from making public, positions or public comments on matters bordering the party, especially when it borders on the integrity and the image of the party and the integrity of a process? Well, whether or not they act, of course, petition, anybody can send a petition, but I'm saying that whether or not they act on our call, we are not going to fight the party. We are very law-abiding.
Right.
At the end of the day, we leave it to the party members. We leave it to the jury, we leave it to the conscience of Ghanaians. But the very key final word is that, those comments that want to be made, in as much as they are unfortunate, we are also not going to show weakness.
Okay.
We assure our supporters that at the end of the day, we have put in a very rigorous and robust mechanism to protect the votes that everybody gets. So what if Dr. Bawumia gets A vote, we'll count A votes for him. If Kennedy Japan gets A votes, we'll count A votes for him. If Brian gets B votes, that's what we are going to be counting for him.
And that will be irrespective of even the polls that Global Info Analytics has put out, pegging Dr. Bawumia leading with some 57%.
But that should even be a source of worry to Dr. Bawumia. Recall, Global Info Analysis has in recent time been conducted. But you recall, even with hindsight, Dr. Bawumia in the last primaries has 61%. Then Global Info Analytics, if I recall, they gave him around 57%. Subsequently to the last but one post, 52%. Now they are doing 47%. So that is a marginal and huge drop. Even if you are to even reference only today's polls, about 5% drop. And that for me should be a concern to the Bawumia camp. Though it essentially means that if almost every month you are dropping 5%, 4 months' time, you'll be doing around minus 20%. Clearly that's what it shows. So we don't see that as a source of worry. Okay. There are other polls that is also projecting Ken to be stronger. Recently, the Sanity Africa also brought their poll and Ken was doing so well. Okay. For me, as a political communicator for politically exposed person, our understanding of polls is a guide and a template for you to do your work well. And that's what we are going to do. And that's what we have always embraced. We thank Mr. Dankwa. It's a good feedback. We will work on it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Kwesi Kwarteng speaks for the Ken campaign. And let's now do Insight. Well, after nearly 2 months of a standoff over subscription rates between the Ministry of Communications and Digital Innovations and the pay TV service provider MultiChoice Ghana, operators of DSTV, both parties have settled on a 33 to 50% higher value at a lower cost. Sector Minister Samuel Nate George explained at a press briefing in Accra that the agreed rates go beyond what the government had targeted as fair for Ghanaian subscribers. Abdul Hanan Adam reports.
The standoff between the Ministry of Communications and pay TV operator MultiChoice Ghana has finally yielded a compromise. Sector Minister Samuel Nate George had consistently argued that Ghanaian subscribers pay disproportionately higher fees compared to other African markets, despite recent gains of the cedi. In August, the ministry even directed the National Communications Authority, NCA, to consider suspending DSTV's license if MultiChoice failed to implement a 30% price cut. However, MultiChoice initially resisted, citing operational cost, but later agreed to join a stakeholder committee to explore the middle ground. After 2 weeks of negotiations, Samuel Nate George, at a press briefing in Accra, explained that the committee assessed DSTV's pricing by factoring in cost drivers, Ghana's microeconomic environment, and subscription trends.
For those who are on the Paddy Bouquet subscription, you currently pay 59 Ghana cedis. When you pay 59 Ghana cedis, you get upgraded automatically to Access, which is valued at 99 Ghana cedis, and you get 35 more channels. This represents a 40% savings if you were to pay for the Access yourself. Second bouquet, Access, currently going at 99 Ghana cedi. If you retain your Access bouquet at 99 Ghana cedi, MultiChoice will bump you up to the family bouquet, which is currently priced at 190 Ghana cedis. You get 19 more channels, which means that if you were to stay on Access and get bumped up, for the value you get, you make a savings of 48%.
The minister further broke down the new rate for the Compact Plus and Premium bouquets.
Anybody on the family package, which previously didn't get live football matches, would automatically get live football matches. The value savings on this, 50%. Compact, currently going at 380 Ghana cedis, gets bumped up automatically to Compact Plus, which is priced at 570 Ghana cedis. You get 12 more channels in addition, and the value savings, 33%. Compact Plus, valued at 570 Ghana cedis. You pay that, you're automatically bumped up to Premium, which goes at the price of 865 cedis. You get 18 more channels and a value of 34%.
With a new price rate, the Ningo Pram Pram legislator says Ghanaians have no excuse of using Nigerian DSTV boxes, warning that cross-border piracy will not be tolerated.
If you look at the statistics that is available over the period, for every one legitimate DSTV box in Ghana, we have so far deactivated 5 from Nigeria. That should give you concern as a citizen. If this doesn't worry you, then your citizenship should be revoked. Because any true Ghanaian will ask yourself, what kind of damage we are doing to our own country? And so yes, the stakeholder committee we've set up is actually going to work with MultiChoice to step up enforcement. We will come after every ghost box, we will deactivate them, and we will block them.
Meanwhile, the committee is expected to reconvene in 3 months to evaluate the impact of the new pricing regime. Reporting for GHOneNews, Abdelhanan Adam, Accra.
Some people, that's not exactly what they were expecting to hear. They were expecting to hear, you know what, if you are paying 380 now, you are not paying 380, you are paying less than that. But Sam George says this is a better deal compared to what government targeted. Let's get a breakdown by the man who was there when Sam George was breaking it all down. Abdelhanan Adam has joined us to help us appreciate exactly what the details are. So Hanan, really, what's the minister talking about?
Quite a lot. The minister, has been at loggerheads with MultiChoice Ghana operators of DSTV, and over the last 2 months, they've been engaged in a series of meetings, including the setting up of a committee. But after that, this is what transpired. So for those who were paying 99 Ghana cedis for the family bouquet, they would have 19 more channels and save 40%. So say those who were paying that amount will now have the family package. So if you were on access and you were paying 99 Ghana cedis and you were getting those channels, you now have, or you'll be upgraded. That is where the minister says that you'll be bumped up to the family package where you would have those channels. And then for those who are on the family package and are paying 190 Ghana cedis, it means that you will now have 22 more channels for the compact bouquet. So you would, instead of paying 380 Ghana cedis, you will now pay 190 Ghana cedis for the compact packages, which include some super sports channels as well. So for those who are paying 570 Ghana cedis for the compact plus bouquet, you will now pay 380 Ghana cedis, which is price for the compact plus, and you will have additional more channels, that is up to 12 additional channels, and you will save 33% of what you were paying earlier for the compact plus. And for those who are paying the compact plus, they would be upgraded or would have additional channels, of course, and they would also save 34% and 18 more channels. That is according to the minister. And for those who were paying 570 for the premium, they will now, 800 Ghana cedis for the premium, will now pay 570. So that is the breakdown of what is happening. But let's cross over to Instagram, IG, where some members of the public who were eager to see the price reduction, some of them are sharing their view on the subject this evening. And Kevin Bonsu says that this is good. And Susie is also saying that I hope this goes to GoTV as well. And indeed, the minister didn't actually touch on GoTV. Specifically, it was surrounding DSTV. I think this is stakeholder enterprise. He says that how many channels can one watch at a time? That is the question he's asking. Maybe DSTV would have to answer that. And Kwabna Sika is tagging his friend, and he's expressing, I think, disappointment. And this Can Drew politicians says that DSTV used to do these things long time. They sometimes even call us personally to pay so that they upgrade us. This is nothing new. We want price reduction, Joshua. So just as you mentioned earlier, like they will offer other countries. So they are still making comparisons. And someone also says that to have ICT skills in an era opens so many doors and opportunities for you. Employers favor. So I think he's saying something else. This one also says that all talk, little substance. So that is his view as well. And this one also says that we want price reduction, not additional channels. So those are some of the comments that are coming, and this viewer is also doing some mathematics with regards to the announcement made by the minister. So Joshua, basically these are some of the things that some people are saying. And finally, let me take this one from Ni Ajete. He says that DSTV offered this to us 3 months ago. Honorable Sam George, it was thanks to CD appreciation. So basically, Joshua, these are some of the views our followers on Instagram have been sharing with us. Back to you.
Quite interesting. And I've seen the kinky analogy also with people saying that, listen, if I'm buying kinky for 5 cedis and I say I want a reduction in the price, you don't tell me buy 5 cedis, I'll give you more kinky. Well, exactly. that's the conversation on social media. And so please let it all continue here on social media as well. And that's how we end Inside for tonight. We've got more after that.
Good business means seeing the possibilities.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Ghana has empowered young budding entrepreneurs through coaching, skills development and masterclass programs in line with the company's annual support for businesses. The launch of the 2025 Business Runway initiative, with a special focus on the youth, seeks to equip them to become business leaders, driving development and economic growth. There's more in the following report.
The launch of the Telecel Business Runway, which was attended by over 900 emerging youth entrepreneurs, provided them with opportunities for business matching, networking, company registrations, and more. Delivering a speech at the launch, Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Patricia Obonai, emphasized that skills training for young entrepreneurs is essential for success.
Today we are here. It's been an amazing month of celebrating your businesses, and today we have the Business Runway. What excites me about the Business Runway is the topic that we have, which is the Gen Z impact. Money, mindset, and skills. If you don't have the skills, your business will not grow. If you don't have the money, you will have all the ideas, it will remain a dream. And if you don't have the right mindset, by the sight of the least challenge, from my experience, your business will just crash.
Speaking with the media on the sidelines of the launch, Director of Business Enterprise, Tawa Bolarin, urged participants to capitalize on the program to advance their business portfolios to become global business leaders.
It's almost difficult for every single one of these graduates to find jobs. So you find a lot more young people taking up businesses today, either because that's the only option that they have, or because actually with the young generation, they want to be their own boss. So this year we thought it would be a very, very good idea for us to actually look at the young entrepreneur, because we see a lot of that happening around us today. With digital media, they're able to push their businesses. So this is the key reason. We feel that 4 in every 10 in Ghana is a young person.
The Telecel Business Runway 2025 is themed Gen Z, skills, money, and mindset.
Well, that's it for business here. Let's bring you the sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Many thanks for joining me here on Sports Brief. I am Monica Bukari. Now, Sports and Recreation Minister Honorable Kofi Idi Adams has inaugurated a 10-member interim management committee to steer the affairs of boxing in Ghana. This follows the recent death of boxer Ernest Bahubali Akushe, who passed away 11 days after his bout with Jacob Dixon. In collaboration with the National Sports Authority, the Sports Ministry on Monday, September 29, assembled top stakeholders within the boxing fraternity to form the committee tasked with restoring order and confidence within the sport. The committee will be chaired by Samir Kaptan, with boxing legend Azuma Nelson serving as vice chairman. Other members include retired veteran boxing administrator IB Kwate, Ni Akwa Bruce Thompson, Dr. Ofori Asari, Lester Ni Amakwating, and Nathaniel Atto. Other coordinating members include Patrick Johnson, Gideon Ohiajo, and Prince Azanu. Honorable Kofi Ide Adams officially swore the members into office with the oath of allegiance.
So help me God. So help me God.
He outlined the responsibilities of the committee, emphasizing that they have 4 months to submit a comprehensive review of the current boxing structure.
You are tasked with overseeing all professional boxing activities, helping implementing reforms, proposing regulatory oversight modalities, and acting as the interim body for sanctioning bouts. You will also facilitate the transition from amateur to professional boxing, restructure the professional boxing Association.
He expressed confidence that the team, backed by clear terms of reference, will deliver on its mandate. The interim committee is also mandated to organize credible elections to select a new executive board for the Professional Boxing Association of Ghana.
Let us remember, Ghana boxing's future depends on our collective effort. I urge you all to embrace this responsibility with the seriousness it deserves, knowing that the actions you take today will shape the legacy we leave for tomorrow's champions.
Responding on behalf of the committee, Chairman Samuel Kaptan assured that their impact will be seen through their actions and not words.
Thank you, Minister. I thank you all, ladies and gentlemen who are here. Let's put heads together, and by the grace of God, we will succeed. In unity we stand, divided we fall. My words are our action. Our words are action. That's all what I have to say. Thank you.
Honorable Kofi Idi Adams called for unity and commitment among all stakeholders as Ghana works to restore pride, safety, and excellence to its boxing industry. Now, the Sports and Recreation Minister, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, has confirmed a total amount of $1.12 million as budget allocated for the final 2 games to be played by the Black Stars in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The Black Stars are billed to play Central African Republic in Morocco on the 8th of October and return back to Ghana to play Comoros at the Accra Sports Stadium on the 12th of October 2025.
We have received the estimates for March the 9th and 10th. That is against Central African Republic in Morocco and against Comoros here in Ghana. Total expenditure.
And that's all for sports. My name is Monica Bukari. Do stay tuned. International news is up next.
So on the international front, Hamas has denied receiving any new proposals from mediators regarding a ceasefire in Gaza, the group said in a press statement. Now, Hamas said it was willing to consider any proposals presented by the mediators positively and the national rights of the Palestinian people. The group also said ceasefire negotiations have been stalled since Israel struck members of its leadership in Doha earlier in September. The statement comes amid reports of a new ceasefire proposal by the United States to end Israel's war in Gaza. The 21-point plan includes the handover of all Israeli hostages within 48 hours and the gradual withdrawal of the Israeli army from Gaza, according to 3 Arab officials briefed on the issue. Now, it also calls for an end to Hamas rule of Gaza, as well as the disarmament of the military group. Well, that's all time we'll afford us here on the bulletin here on News Tonight on GH1 Television. There's more news for you at starfm.com.gh. Remember, at 9 p.m., I sit with State of Affairs. We're talking smaller political parties, looking at the NPP, and also shining the spotlight on what is happening there. You don't want to miss that out. It's 9 p.m. on GH1 Television, State of Affairs, with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Good evening.